Rakim means sun god from the land of the burnt-faced people. Ra means sun god. Kim is another word for Egypt. You know, and it means the land of the burnt-faced people.
From the planet Earth, it was my place to work, born to be the sole controller of the universe.
People, you know, use a crutch as far as, you know, they ain't got this or they ain't got that. You know, that's, everything else is material. You know what I'm saying? As long as they got their physical form and their mind, whatever they want to happen can happen.
What's the first thing that Thoth said when he descended on the land of Kim? In the beginning of the Emerald Tablets, he's sent by his father Enki to the land of Kim. The land of Kim is where we get chemistry and alchemy. It all comes out of the land of Kim. That's where chemistry and alchemy originate from. And then from there, it spread around the world. He goes over to them and he shows them his magic science, of course, his advanced technology. And they start to grovel at his feet because now they think he's really a god. And he tells them, no, don't do that.
Expressions people give me when I see him in the streets. Sometimes, you know, people be looking at me like I'm a Martian, like, yo, it's the god.
I'm the son of Atlantis. He refers to himself as the son of Atlantis.
Only my mind's concerning me. Fire burns in me eternity. Time's eternity follows eternal me. Being a mental infirmary. Eternally advanced technology better than Germany.
What's good is Krish at Rap Mythology, the reincarnation of Ramakrishna, coming at you like a true knocker.
Don't stop.
My name is Rakim, Allah, and R.A. stand for Raw. I'm letting knowledge be born.
This shit is wild, deep. This shit is deep, my G. Rakim, the gateway to Thoth, and the mysteries of the Emerald Tablets. So let me give you the backdrop on how this information came to me. This is all very recent. I was 6 years old when Rakim came out. My uncle was a DJ, so my uncle used to put the speakers, like some living room speakers, like house speakers inside the car. Like he always had a system. He had this little gray joint, I think it was a Corolla, small little joint, but he had that in high school. So you can imagine, you know what I'm saying, even though it was like a little small joint, he had the whip in high school, so he was like the man with the living room speakers in the trunk and whatnot. My father was trying to get a job on Wall Street. So my uncle would watch me, I would chill with him and his boys a lot. You know what I mean, during the daytime, after school and whatnot. So, you know, sometimes they would just post up, let the music blast out the car and just chill. Stand around, joke around and whatnot, you know what I'm saying, try to holler at shorties and whatnot. And when they would be listening to Eric B for President, they used to get a kick out of me saying that line, thought I was a donut, you tried to glaze me. Yeah, but I guess at 5 years old, that was the only part that I could really relate to. You know, when you was a kid, you was loving donuts and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So when I heard donuts and glaze me in the song, I was like, oh yeah, like this is it. That was my favorite line at 6 years old. Thought I was a donut, you tried to glaze me. Fast forward to 11/11/2022. I buy my ticket to the Rakim concert at Sony Hall in NYC. I seen he was performing with a live band. Lately, the live band has been a phenomenal experience for me, bro. It's so much different. It's such a different vibe when the rapper is spitting in front of a live band. So I get a ticket, just me dolo, for my birthday. I went by myself. And meantime, in between time, as the concert date is coming up, I'm starting to get heavy into watching Billy Carson out of nowhere, author of the book Forbidden Knowledge. I start watching all of his YouTube videos. Billy Carson is an expert on ancient civilizations and ancient texts that explain the origins of modern man. Billy Carson talks about how the Anunnaki created the first modern man about 200,000 years ago. The Anunnaki meaning beings that came from the heavens or outer space. He believes from his research that these beings came from Mars and various other places in our solar system. He describes Thoth as one of those beings. I still haven't made any connection to Rakim as I'm listening to his videos, but then the concert comes up on the 21st of November.
know the line. If it gets to following, every step right up, keep following the lead. Can't be no guy like the hero, living on shaky ground, too close to the head. Let's get up. Yeah. Shell play around on the battleground, dead bodies. Ain't no eight traces, the scar they keep. Cause when I spit, I made my debut, 86, with a melody and you know, a massive flag. This ain't nothing but sweat and shot my hands. So I dig into my pocket on my money spent, dig deeper. So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead presidents. I need money to be a stick-up kid, so I think of all the devious things I hold up, shit, hold up, shit, funny, stop smiling, still with nothing for but the money. But now I learn to earn, I feel great. 4, 9 to 5, if I strive. So I walk up the street, whistling this, feeling out of places, man, do I miss a pen and a paper? Being a fish. Now no money is, cause I don't like to dream about getting paid. I dig into the books or the rhymes that I made. So now the test, see if I got pulled, hit the studio.
So the concert was illmatic. I came out feeling real energized. I had just seen a legend up close and in person. I was feeling real ill when I stepped out the concert, not even realizing that I had just entered the gateway of Thoth. But the music stayed in my head, like it just kept playing and playing and playing. After I left, I was just still hearing the beats, like check out my melody. Check out my melody. So that was going on non-stop for like the next 2 days. I'm just hearing Rakim playing over and over and over again in my head. So I actually started listening to his music. You know what I'm saying? So Thanksgiving, we in the kitchen helping out. That was the first thing I threw on, paid in full. So later that night, I wake up in the middle of the night. Billy Carson, you know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Billy Carson, The Origins of Religion. But it still didn't click yet. So the next day, I'm in my room, I got a Rakim interview on. Cause I'm trying to figure out, I know there's something deep about this dude. You know what I'm saying? The music keeps playing in my head. And I'm like, damn, you got some deep ass lyrics and whatnot. So I'm, going through the music, listening. And I'm like, yo, I know there's something to this dude, I gotta figure it out. As soon as I said that, I'm seeing Rakim and then I see like a blurry image of Thoth come out of Rakim. Word is bond. Bro, and if you look at his pictures, he looked like Thoth. Like he got the long beaky nose. Rakim looked just like Thoth in the face. So then it just all clicked. I started connecting the dots with the lines. Pharaoh dressed up in hood apparel. Kicking science and mathematics. The similarities between Thoth and the coming back like Jesus. Rhyming about the technology, it just hit me all at once. I was like, oh shit. I was like, yo, this dude is Thoth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just leaned back like, oh shit. Thought I was a donut, you tried to glaze me. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some of the overstanding of Thoth, and then we're gonna go to Billy Carson for the secrets of the Emerald Tablets. Billy Carson's been researching this material since 1977. I don't got 30 years of research under my belt to talk about Thoth, so I'm just gonna hand it over to my man Billy Carson and let him do it. So I didn't want to digress with Thoth's mythology, with the other deities. So I'll leave that up to you to do your own research. But I want to get into the main attributes of the deity Thoth. Thoth is an ancient Egyptian god. Thoth is an ibis, a man with the head of an ibis, or a baboon with a crescent shape on his head. Thoth is responsible for the creation of all areas of intelligence, including law, math, science, philosophy, medicine, writing, and religion. Thoth is credited with inventing writing and is the writer of the ancient text of Egypt. Thoth was the one who created the written word for all of humanity to use. Therefore, Thoth is also known as the record keeper of everything that happens in the world. He kept the record of the number of days and the years and is credited for the formulation of the calendar. The Book of Thoth is said to contain all the secrets of the universe, which include both mankind and divinity. In the present age, many believe this book is kept in a secret chamber hidden in the Great Pyramid. It is believed that the origin of God is mentioned in this book. Thoth's knowledge on different subjects has led to him being revered as a god who is the author of every work on every branch of knowledge, both human and divine. He is believed to have written 42 books which have all the knowledge that humanity would ever need. So you gotta understand, before Rakim, everybody was rapping the same. Which, if you think about it, that's kind of what's happening now. Everybody's rapping the same. But Rakim birthed the modern day flow. It was almost like Thoth looked down on earth like, oh my God, man, these jokers can't rap at all, man. These dudes is looking like clowns. Talking about, come on. Cause I'm Curtis Blow and I'm on the mic and these are the breaks. Break it up, break it up, break it up. You know what I'm saying? They was on something like, it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. You know what I'm saying? They was about to be stuck on that forever. Just imagine if Lil Uzi, right? He got that song out now. Shorty got that body, yada yada, no line, hit it once, no line. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if it was, shorty got the body, yeah. She got the body, yeah. I hit it once, y'all. Come on. Shorty. She got the body, yeah. If Rakim didn't come down here and teach y'all how to rap, y'all probably would still be on some, come on. Y'all probably still be rapping like that right now.
If you don't know what the Emerald Tablets are, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the plural tablets, are it's a set of tablets that were written by and authored by Thoth himself. In other words, Thoth, the Atlantean Priest King who ruled over the land of Chem for 14,000 years, according to the Egyptians. Not according to Billy Carson, not according to my hypothesis or nothing like that. According to the Egyptians themselves in their own records, he ruled over the land of Chem, which is ancient Egypt, for 14,000 years. Dating all the way back to 50,000 BC. We're talking about a long time ago. Long time ago. So this gentleman named Thoth, and I do mean gentleman because he's not a god. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I like writing about this person is because he has never claimed to be a god, whereas some of his relatives actually masqueraded as gods because they saw the weakness in humanity and realized that, wow, because of our advanced knowledge and our advanced technology, these people think we're God. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and let them believe that so we can manipulate them. But Thoth actually never did that. He actually said, you know what? When people would bow at his feet and stuff, he'd be like, hey, stand up. He'd say, I'm a son of Atlantis. That's what he would say. He incarnated in his last being, known as Hermes, the thrice born. So his last incarnation out of all the dozens that we know of that exist, because he's got many names. Thoth, Jehudi, Lord Pakal, Kukulkan, Viracocha, Quetzalcoatl, many names. Thor, Odin, Wang Di. I mean, this guy's everywhere. Thoth Amabi. No matter where you're going around the world, you're going to find a reference to Thoth, right? But during the later ages, the ego of Thoth, in other words, that's just they're saying his consciousness would transfer into new bodies.
After you die, do you ever think what life would be, where you will go?
You ever sit back and get a little too high, start thinking what happens to you when you die? Does your soul rest where your coffin is? Or is death just a metamorphosis? Does life go on in the mental form? If we live a good life, will we get reborn? Is it a heaven or we trapped in hell? Where do we go from here? Nobody came back to tell. If we reincarnated or perish in time, could you shine with darkness, inherit your mind and your eyes closed for good? You out the galaxy now. Is a subconscious dream our reality now?
Thoth, the Atlantean Priest King Rakim. So I went to look in his natal chart a bit, real quick for the astrologers out there. Then we're gonna get into some lyrics and the correlation between Rakim and Thoth. I don't have the exact time of birth though, so his chart is not gonna be 100% accurate, but pretty close. So he was born January 28th. He's an Aquarius sun and Capricorn moon in Western, which was interesting because that's the same zodiac sign and birthday as my firstborn son. And Rakim played football in high school. He was doing that. He wanted to go to the NFL and all of that. He was doing that till he started rapping. Thoth came down here and played a little football. See, the gods is playing sports, son. Thoth was playing football. Had to get that human experience. But if you guys notice anything in here out of the ordinary, the astrologers, let me know in the comments. I know some of y'all can get all types of information from looking at the chart from this angle. I haven't quite gotten here yet. This looks like scribble scrabble to me. But I wanted to check out his chart because you can get information about the past life and lessons you came to learn in this life. But without the exact time of birth, I knew it wasn't really worth the time to try to dig that deep. But just for the basic stuff, this is pretty close. So from looking at his chart, I noticed that he has some psychic and clairvoyant abilities. There's a documentary on YouTube about Rakim. It's a part 1 and 2. It was interesting in there. They were talking about when he was growing up, that he kept stacks and stacks and stacks of notebooks full of written rhymes. It was absurd the amount of notebooks that he had.
And hearing what John Coltrane was doing, man, the solos and the rhythms that he was doing, it was just in me, man. And I started realizing, like, holding on to all the rhythms that I heard in jazz. When I started sitting down to write rhymes in hip hop, I wasn't just hearing 1, 2, 3, 4. I was saying 1, 2, 3, and 4, and whatever. You know what I mean? So I started realizing, if I can, fill in all of this space with rhythms and intellectual words that grab them and 4 or 5 syllable words and you know what I mean? I figured out, I can make the same rhythms that he was making by using certain syllable words and using certain syllable words after each other. You know what I mean? So I took it from a flow and a flow to blow to then gold and a blown to blown down diddle to blown to diddle to blown bone to don't to blown to don't. You know what I mean? Just like all over the place with it. Yeah.
Right. Yo, these are Jews. Y'all should turn your cameras on.
Lyrics make me a menace when it's in a sentence, then it's finished. More pure than raw, much more above the law. I don't go on tour, I go to war. Stomp and comp, flaunt a similar style. Rhymes attack, now they want rap exile. Cause every word I said'll be deadly. A MC murderer, signs are steadily giving me new ways and methods, melodies and medleys, weapons for records, tactics lethal. Perhaps it's illegal, scorching them, torching them, cause that's how we do. Set your entire empire on fire, so give me your mic without a wire. Cause every dose is highly explosive. Mr. Dynamite, the man with most of the blueprints and master plans and potential. Data process stored in the mental. Then I get physical and hit you with another hit. The brother's it, and nothing's equivalent.
So I hope you're noticing the correlations between Rakim and Thoth as you're watching the video. I think Rakim carries the ego or the consciousness of Thoth. The connection between Rakim and Thoth is clearly evident in his lyrics. Rhymes that was put out in the late 80s, mind you, when there was no internet and it wasn't easy for you to get your hands on the Emerald tablets. Now you can just listen to an audio book on YouTube of the Emerald tablets. Rakim is known for ushering in the golden age of rap. And it's like he almost wrote the Emerald Tablets again in the album The 18th Letter. I think the 18th Letter album is actually closer to the Book of Thoth. There's one song in the 18th Letter called Who is God? And we're going to get into some of the lyrics on there. I believe that in this rhyme he was talking about the mystery of the Book of Thoth. So we gonna get into the mystery. Some Bobby Hemmett. We gonna get into the mystery. So this is the mystery. But we gonna get into some of the lyrics on 18th Letter and also 7 Seals. So now Thoth's head, right, is shaped like an ibis bird. The ibis, when it gets its food, it puts its head into the darkness and it catches its food and brings it out into the light for consumption. And this is what Thoth is known for, bringing whole civilizations from the darkness to the light. So I think the full impact of Rakim's work here hasn't even been realized yet. Because now to get the modern day Book of Thoth and the Emerald Tablets, you can go right to Rakim's lyrics and study his lyrics. Now, after the concert, what was happening was I was receiving downloads about this information. And when I listen to Rakim, it's not Rakim anymore. I'm imagining that Thoth is rapping and singing the lyrics. It's like listening to the songs again for the very first time. So Rakim is constantly bringing people out of the darkness and into the light through his music. You know, I was 6 years old when he came out. You know, I was a teenager when 18th Letter came out, but I'm 42, going over this and realizing this now, and having to go back to all that music and listen to it again and hear a whole nother message in the songs. But now I'm able to understand that message and apply it in my everyday life.
The crowd couldn't wait to see this. Nobody's been this long awaited since Jesus. Who will ever believe this? Heard the word on the street. I'm still one of the deepest on the mic since the Venus. They said I've changed the time with rhymes that I brought them. So I made some order, put the new world in order. With mathematics, put your status above the average. And help you rapping, make paragraphs of graphic. The new days dawning, the ways of performing. Brainstorming, alright, watch the night turn the morning. On and on it, I got the whole world responding. Rock, keep it hot, blow it spot without warning. The emperor, well known for inventing obsession, full of affection, turning up the temperature, rush with adrenaline. I'm going in the drink and the man state of mind. Come on, been a long time since the
So that last song was It's Been a Long Time off the 18th Letter album. So now we're going to get into the lyrics off the song The Mystery, Who is God? This is also on the 18th Letter album by Rakim. It's Been a Long Time is a deep song too, because it's referring of the second coming of Thoth. Billy Carson talks about how the Bible is compiled of a number of separate ancient texts. In the Emerald Tablets, Thoth talks about how he gives man all the knowledge of the light, and that when he leaves and comes back, he expects for humanity to be upholding the same morals that he left. And the story goes that when Thoth comes back, if he sees that humanity is not living up to his standard of morality and mindfulness, that he would destroy humanity's ideologies, their laws, their governments, and humanity will be held accountable for upholding his laws on earth. Now, this story is where some of the texts about Jesus originated from. How Jesus would come back and humanity would be judged for their sins. But the Emerald Tablets were created thousands and thousands of years before the Bible was even thought of. So the song It's Been a Long Time is very similar to the story of Thoth leaving mankind and coming back. Now, the mystery, who is God? So the mystery is that you are God. You are the divine spark, a piece of the source, a soul. That is the mystery. The mystery is that you were created with the potential to be just as an advanced being as the Anunnaki, if not even greater. He also has the song off the Seven Seals album, Holy You Are. And the hook on that song is There Is No God But You. We're going to get into some of the lyrics on that one too. But now in this song, The Mystery, I think it's based off the Book of Thoth. The Book of Thoth is said to be a lost book. It's said to be hidden underneath the Great Pyramid in the halls of Amenti. And the Book of Thoth reveals the answer to who is God. So in this song, The Mystery, I feel like he's revealing some of those texts from the Book of Thoth. There's a lot of wordplay with the word he in this song. I think the word he is referencing the deity Thoth. Okay, so who is God starts off, if you can, see if you can solve the mystery. The answer revolves around your history. So carefully I drop this degree, scientifically and realistically, who is God. Once you figure out your true history, then you'll be able to know who God is. In eternal blackness, in the midst of the darkest night, proteins and minerals exist within specks of light. Solids, liquids, and gases, and sparks of light within infinite length and widths and depths and heights. New beginning or ending, the 7 dimensions, enough space for more than 1 million words and inventions. To travel through time within enough room to be the womb of the Most High's great mind, which he will soon make shine. He starts to use the word he, but that's when he says, first he says, of the Most High. Of the Most High's great mind, which he, Thoth, will soon make shine. That's where he makes the distinction that there's a separation between he and the Most High in the song. With intelligent elements in sight that he will gather, that Thoth will gather in the realms of relativity, electricity, struck matter. Energies explode. He reloads. That's not below. It's supposed to be reloads. Thoth reloads to keep releasing atoms by the millions till the numbers increasing, till it was burning. He kept returning himself to the source. And I think he's talking about reincarnation there. I'm not 100% sure. The hotter his thoughts, it gave the center more force. He gave birth to the sun, which would follow his laws. All caused by his mental intercourse. All caused by his thoughts. I think this is Thoth talking about he gave birth to the sun people, which would follow his laws. So Thoth brought these things into fruition from thinking it, from his thoughts. He began to explain his craft, the master and the addict. He dealt with measurements. His language was mathematics. Thoth all day. His theoretical wisdom of the numerical system, the complete number 9, which means born or existed. Thought I was a donut, you tried to glaze me. He gave birth to all the planets, inorganic and organic, so you wouldn't take it for granted. And I think that's where he's using the wordplay. He might be referring to God, because that's what the people identify with right there. Or he could be talking about giving birth to the zodiac and the knowledge of the planets. They rotated their own distance around the sun and fully submit to the existence of one. And each one was promised everlasting perfection if each one keeps spinning in the same direction. To the east, and each speak to the motion of peace and harmony. And each show devotion to teach. The universe is to come, the whole world must go according. Know your galaxy and mirage and stars start falling. So stay in your orbit, maintain safe and sound, like the planets each cipher remains perfectly round. So Thoth is also telling you right there that Earth is not flat, it's round. From unconsciousness to consciousness, by acknowledging his wisdom, his response is this. And that's by acknowledging Thoth, his response is this. Also, from unconsciousness to consciousness, that's the mythology with the ibis bird, how it brings things from the darkness to the light. Thoth is known for bringing whole civilizations from unconsciousness to consciousness. A understanding, which is the best part, he picked the third planet where new forms of life would start. He pursued, show, and prove every move in order. Back to the source, he let off his resources in the water. Climb his climax where the climate is at, high degrees. So you start to breathe deep in the darkest seas. And the plan is to lay in the clays to form land and expand using the same clays to born man. In his own image, our origin begins in the east. Culture rise to breed with the powers of peace. Deal in equality, nature's policy is to be God. build or destroy positively born life like Allah, and each one was given everlasting perfection if each one keep living in the same direction, and life was life and love was love. We went according by the laws of the world above. They showed us physically we could reach infinity, but mentally through the century we lost our identity. Life start and ending, we got trife and start sinning. Lost touch with the beginning, now ciphers stop spinning. And what was once easy became confused and hard, which brings us back to the mystic question, who is God? 66 trillion years since his face was shown. When the seventh angel appears, the mystery will be known. I also thought that this line was really interesting. When the seventh angel appears, the mystery will be known. Check Revelations and Genesis, St. Luke and John. Is the seventh angel Billy Carson? Nah, it's probably Billy Carson though, because he breaks down the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And the next line says, check Revelations, Genesis, St. Luke, and John. I'm gonna throw on a Billy Carson video just to tie it all together. I'm like, damn, man. After watching Billy Carson, it's like, yo, they say every level you go up, there's a new devil. I'm like, damn, now it's the aliens, man. You know what I'm saying? We beefing with the aliens now? They got narcissistic aliens out here, bro. That's a viral idea right there, narcissistic aliens. Billy Carson, I want to know what you think about the North Pole and the South Pole. You know what I'm saying? And what do you think about Bigfoot? Billy Carson talks about how there was a hominid here before modern man was created. And if you watch like the history, the evolution videos, there was like 6 or 7 different types of Bigfoots. If they found Bigfoot and did all the tests on the blood and found all the DNA and all that, I think it would disprove Darwin's theory like off the back. I think it would expose a lot about our genes and our DNA. Certain missing links and all of that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why they won't reveal the discovery of Bigfoot. It even tells us we are gods in the Holy Quran, wisdom, strength, and beauty. One of the meanings of God, G-O-D, you and me, Gomar's Adubar. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, sun, moon, and star, man, woman, and child, and so is Allah.
Trace this style to the roots of Genesis. The world wonder, still standing like pyramids. Designs are vivid, every cricket got a story to tell. My rhyme will give it like a hieroglyphic. Rhyme prolific, infinite like mathematics. The first language, so add that, add graphics. We gon' let the blocks know it's the gospel. Life's for manual, so watch grow. Cause it's like Angelo or Pablo Picasso. We'll be the children in cosmos and round clothes. Even my lyrical metaphysical, what this to do is help you into your spiritual pinnacle. Try your mind to raw fetch to hit the battle. I bring the darkness to the light, split the atom. It's like watching the Big Bang Theory emerge. I take title water to a billion birds. They want a clear view. From the farmers in the darkest corners of the universe to a corner near you. Barrel and ghetto with barrel, stay blamed up, Fort Knox display. My modern day King Thoth, rap tight, rap like I've been preserved in time. Spit the holy water, touch it, turn it to wine.
We gonna get on down now.
He took them there. They worked together to build the land of Chem, rebuild it. It was already built before, but many millennia prior. He went to rebuild the land of Chem and bring it back to a higher level. Once they accomplished that, he told his crew members, okay guys, you guys spread around the world. Go everywhere on this planet and duplicate what we did here. Deep in the halls of life grew a flower. We're talking about the flower of life, which the flower of life is literally the face of God. Those who have lived righteous lives will be granted eternal life. Those who have lived evil lives will be condemned to eternal punishment. These statements are very reminiscent of the same thing stated by Thoth over 36,000 years ago. There's going to be an accounting. I'm going to hold you accountable for what you have learned and what you have done. Have you done good with the knowledge and you sustained that, or have you failed my trust?
Let me explain something.
A lot of the verses where Jesus, really Yeshua, is speaking in the Bible is really fragments and fractals of what he learned in the Egyptian mystery schools that was taught by Thoth, the Atlantean Priest King, and what he wrote in his emerald tablets. So where did Jesus go? Really, his name is not Jesus. His name is Yeshua. Jesus is actually not a real name. But where did Yeshua go? Yeshua went to the land of Chem to learn, and he became an adept initiate to learn the Egyptian mysteries, or the Kemetic mysteries. And in there, he learned all of the teachings that are in the emerald tablets of Thoth and beyond. So when he's speaking in the New Testament, the reason why a lot of what he's saying is matching the emerald tablets. And what's interesting, though, is the fact that he's talking about being free from death. He had now conquered death. He now has the capability to transfer his consciousness into new avatar bodies, in which further in the tablets, he talks about the fact that he's got these halls of Amenti where he has these rejuvenation chambers, and he would have his bodies in these chambers, and he would transfer from body to body, walk amongst man, but unlike a man, he says. In other words, he's not stealing people's bodies. He's walking amongst men, but unlike a man. In other words, he's in a sleeve. He understands the concept of being in that sleeve. Whereas we're in a sleeve, and we think the sleeve is is us.
And you know what else hit me too? You remember that movie Independence Day, when the alien had the dude all hemmed up on the glass, and the president is talking to the alien, and the president was like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "I'm God." Bro, they was telling you in that movie right there. Then in the movie, they ended up beating the aliens and overthrowing, you know what I'm saying, and uprising over the aliens and whatnot. Yeah, so all that to say that Rakim is the reincarnation of Thoth. It's the reincarnation of Thoth, man, walking on the earth. I'm out of here, man. I've been hyper-focused on this for like 4 or 5 days. There was some lines in Who is God that I didn't even touch on. I could go forever with Thoth, man. But I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna end it short and simple. It's rap mythology, the reincarnation of Ramakrishna, coming at you like a true knocker. I'm gonna put the link in the description for the Thoth t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to mention that, but if you listening to this point now, you a real trooper. You know what I'm saying? So check out the Thoth t-shirts in the description. You know what I mean? I left a lot up in the air. You know what I'm saying? I left it up to y'all to do your own research and figure things out. You know, I brought out the basics, but there's still a lot of studying that can be done after watching this. Love everybody, man. 100.